respected chairpersons, teachers, students, and other participants. A very good afternoon to all of you. Presently, I am an assistant professor in the Department of Educational Technology at IIT Kharagpur. The topic of my study is mental health status of tea garden workers in Northeast India, a case study. The thing is that it's a little effort to focus attention, to draw attention towards the Northeast area. How the workers they are dealing with life, the problems they are facing in their day-to-day life, and their mental health status. It's just a little effort. The rationale behind this study is that even though we know that all of us know that Darjeeling is famous for tea garden, for the tea, the export brand tea, and it is a famous hill station. It's especially famous for the tea brand. It exports the high quality tea to the world, toward the world, and it contributes significantly to the hills economy. And major chunk of people of this hill station, they work in the tea gardens. In spite of all these factors, the people in the tea garden workers, the daily workers, the day-to-day life, they face a lot of problem. What is exactly the status of their life, the quality of their life, and the mental health they are possessing? So that is just a little effort to focus attention on their mental health status and the problems they face in day-to-day life. I'm skipping all these descriptions about the hill station. So primarily the objectives were to study the mental health status of these tea garden workers in Darjeeling district of West Bengal, to assess the attitude of tea garden workers towards the women, especially focusing on the status of women. That means how the other workers, they look into the women as their co-workers, co-participants, co-workers in the tea gardens. That means what sort of attitude they possess towards women workers, and to observe the lifestyle and the problems faced by them in their day-to-day life. Due to constraints of time and other resources, it has been restricted to only the suburb areas, the tea gardens available in Darjeeling district and its adjoining areas, and the sample is also very limited. It consists of the 40 samples, 40 tea garden workers, 20 male and 20 female workers, and it has been drawn through purposive sampling technique. And all the 40 workers sample, the workers taken as a sample were randomly drawn from the tea gardens available there in the Darjeeling district. And the tools, even though I have used certain tools, but primarily it's a qualitative study. So for quantitative analysis of mental health, how to tap their mental health, I have used one mental health checklist by Pramod Kumar and an attitude towards women scale by Spencer Helmich. And besides that, I have developed an observation schedule consisting of some of the items, just to note down the day-to-day activities, the lifestyles, their problems they face, what are the things, what are their ambitions, goals, aspirations in life, what are the mental health, that means mental health they possess, what they expect from the life, what they want to be, but they couldn't achieve it, all these kinds of things. And it has been taken, the data has been taken through interviewing them personally. So both the tea garden workers and their family members, whoever are available. So I've collected the data through mental health test, and attitude scale, and as well as from the observation schedule. The mental health checklist, it has two dimensions primarily. One is the psychological dimensions, and another is the scale. The tool is not there. It has several dimensions: physiological symptoms they suffer from, and the psychological symptoms like anxiety, depression, etc. And the attitude towards women, that is, it consists of certain items, that means through checklist items, and it shows that whether you are possessing the worker, they are possessing the liberal attitude, favorable attitude towards the co-worker, fellow women worker or not. And the observation schedule consists of the other descriptive data available. The major findings that in the mental health checklist, in the quantitative data, I couldn't find so much of difference between male and female workers, or so much of difference between, that means as such I couldn't find that really their mental health is poor. But in the qualitative interpretation which I have collected from the observation schedule, so I could really get that how poor their mental health is, what are the sufferings, the problems they face in their day-to-day life. Whereas in attitude scale, I could find the difference in the sense that the men do not have the favorable attitude towards the co-workers, female co-workers, whereas the female themselves, they are having the positive attitude, favorable attitude towards the women workers. And the observation schedule, from the observation schedule, which I have collected the data, I could find all these are the descriptive information, descriptive results, which are here. Like 60% of the women, that means 60% of the women, they are the women folk. The labor force, 60% of the labor force, they are the women folk, and around 50% of that population of that tea garden they are working in the tea gardens. So as such, the parents, they do not have the they do have the positive perception towards the education of their children, but they couldn't do it because of the scarcity of the resources, etc. And most of the workers, they are below poverty line. Below poverty line, they live a very, very pathetic and miserable life. They are starting working from the very early morning till the afternoon. It's very difficult for them to meet their livelihood, to meet their both the ends, and that is why they resort to other types of work like cattle keeping and vegetable growing, etc. etc. The financial condition are largely, primarily they depend on the tea gardens. And during the off season, so they don't get any other job to work or to maintain their livelihood. And moreover, the thing is that the area is totally cut off from the urban lifestyle, urban facilities and amenities. So that is why they solely depend on the tea garden works. And the tea gardens management, the tea garden is primarily tilted towards the entrepreneurs, towards the tea garden owners. So that means they say that they dominate, and primarily they depend on the captive labor force. That means they are tactful in the way that they don't hire the local people, because they in order to keep the wages low, and they hire that migrated labor. And some of the tea garden owners, they take care of their workers by establishing the hospitals, schools, etc., etc. But others, they don't care about it, and their primary intention is to keep the wages low, and that is why they used to give the wages through, now this is called the tikka and hajira. Tikka is the daily work wages, and the hajira is the extra that overtime is. And they primarily this working the tea garden is like family trained, and most of the members, they work in the family. They're from the, and just to get the more number of people from the family get hired in get the work in the tea garden. So they also don't argue, they don't bargain with the tea garden workers to raise their wages. And even though some associations, tea garden workers associations, etc. are there, but they fight for the welfare of the workers, but they couldn't succeed in the past. And it has been kept, and the main intention is to keep the wages low and to exploit the labor force. And that is why the entrepreneurs, they don't encourage the other kinds of entrepreneurship like other tourism. The only source of only industry that flourishes, that is tourism, but that is also in the main area of the urban area in the Darjeeling main headquarters. In the mental health, as we could see, there is no significant difference between male and female, but in the qualitative report, in the observation schedule, I could find the overall the poor workers, they maintain a poor mental health, and attitude towards women is favor in case of the women workers, not so favor in case of male. And it has the implication in the sense that I just want to draw the attention to the northeast area, especially the women workers, the tea garden workers, so that more number of studies could be done there, taking the different aspects of life. It's just a small case study, and it recommends that how to uplift the status of the workers, especially of women, by counseling centers, by encouraging more number of sustainable development programs, by active participation of the NGOs, and by opening the various skill development centers, etc., etc. My intention is to highlight, just to focus on this northeast area, so that more number of studies can be done. Thank you.